The Minister of State for Finance and General Duties, Henry Musasizi, has urged local government leaders in the Chigezi sub-region to ensure their budgets align with government priorities to drive a tenfold economic growth in line with the strategic direction set in the 4th National Development Plan NDP IV. Minister Musasizi made these remarks on Thursday while addressing stakeholders from the Chigezi sub-region during the inaugural local government regional budget consultative workshop for the 2025-2026 financial year held at Agaba Center in Kavale Municipality. Minister Musasizi highlighted that the 4th National Development Plan NDP IV is nearing completion and its implementation will begin in the 2025-2026 financial year. He emphasized that the plan follows President Museveni's vision of growing Uganda's economy tenfold by 2040. Under this strategy, the country's gross domestic product GDP is expected to rise from a baseline of about $50 billion in the 2022-2023 financial year to $500 billion over the next 15 years. Minister Musasizi outlined several key objectives necessary for achieving this growth, including shifting to a higher growth trajectory with double-digit economic growth, raising the tax to GDP ratio of 30%, increasing per capita GDP from the current $1,146 to $7,000, doubling national savings from 20% to 40% of GDP, raising the share of exports in GDP from 12% in 2022 to 50%, and increasing the share of manufactured products in merchandise exports from 13% to 50%. He noted that the priority areas for local government interventions in the upcoming budget strategy include agricultural production and value addition, unlocking constraints to tourism development, advancing the mineral sector, developing the oil and gas industry along with petrochemical industries, and enhancing science, technology, innovation, and ICT. Minister Musasizi reminded stakeholders that the country will finance the 2025-2026 budget using domestically generated resources as well as external sources. He emphasized the need to repurpose the current resources and improve the efficiency of allocations to focus on high-impact sectors of the economy. Minister Musasizi also discussed key strategies, including the effective implementation of the domestic revenue mobilization strategy, improving local revenue performance through automation, diversifying private capital, reforming the pension, insurance and capital markets, and continuing the exploration of oil and gas reserves to increase revenue.
National Development Plan is being finalized and implementation will commence in financial year 2025-6. The plan is consistent with His Excellency the President's guidance on the ambitious plan to grow the economy tenfold by 2039-40. Under this strategy, the country's gross domestic product is expected to grow from a baseline of about $50 billion in financial year 2022-23 to $500 billion within the next 15 years. This means doubling our GDP every 5 years. Growing the economy tenfold by 2039-40 requires shifting to a higher growth trajectory of propelling the economy to double-digit growth, raising the tax to GDP ratio to 30%, raising per capita GDP from the current $1,146 to $7,000, doubling the level of savings in the economy from 20% of GDP to 40% to match the required levels of investment, raising the share of exports to GDP from 12% in 2022 to 50%, and the share of manufactured products in merchandise exports from 13% to 50%, among others. These aspirations will be actualized through 4 key areas known as the ATMs. That is agro-industrialization, tourism development, mineral development, including oil and gas, and science and technology and innovations. This requires alignment of the National Development Plan 4 and the targets of the 10-fold growth strategy. Therefore, your respective development plans for financial year 2025-6 and to 2029-30 and financial year 2025-6 budgets should be finalized in line with the national strategic direction. The following local government intervention areas will form a major anchor of the budget strategy for financial year 2025-6 and should inform your budget preparation process going forward. Effective financial year 2023-24, Uganda shillings 1 billion was provided to all local governments for road maintenance beyond the funds provided under Uganda Road Fund. This allocation has been maintained in the budget for financial year 2024-25 and in the financial year 2025-6 to enable you improve on the road network. I implore you to prioritize maintenance of most of the productive road networks to stimulate economic activity within your respective jurisdictions. Number 3, relocation of district offices where cities were created. As you are aware, government operationalized 10 cities and since financial year 2020-21. Accordingly, the district offices within the city boundaries had to be relocated. Government provided Uganda shillings 1 billion as startup grant in financial year 2024-25 to the affected districts. Please utilize these resources in the provision of the required office space accommodation for the districts. Number 4, shortfalls for ex gratia stroke councillors' allowances. Following the 2021 general elections, administrative units were created. This led to an increase in the number of councillors in most lower local governments and resulted in budget shortfalls. The matter was addressed after comprehensive analysis and the allocations for ex gratia for all councillors' allowances were fully provided for during financial year 2023-24 and 2024-2025. I want someone from local government to check for me Soroti City whether these people have their allowances now. Because yesterday I was in Parliament, I met the MP from there. She was saying the councillors have arrears. Someone can check for me. Since you're on camera, I know this one will. In the next 2 or 3 minutes, some of our stakeholders will be having.
Memory Aguma for iTelevision.